Now in its 9th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, yes, it's Alex and it's time now for the Ramble. We go until midnight tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, that there is, as you can see under his picture, Chuck Farnham.
Ooh.
Chuck Farnham used to be part of our morning show in San Francisco, and now he's part of this. And you look rather made up today. You look.
I know.
You
thought
have a
about
nice
this
shirt,
all week.
nice shirt, and hairs, and
I have $1.99 invested in this shirt, and I look like I threw up in the middle of a Grateful Dead concert or something.
Yeah, but
it's good for a buck.
Yeah,
I couldn't pass it up.
Now all we have to do is get that tooth fixed.
I don't know, man.
Huh?
I'm getting used to it.
You're kind of looking like David Letterman.
I know, with a little more gap. I don't know. Do you go for dentures at some point? I mean, to fix this, they want to put in an implant. Which I think you have implants, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had one come out?
No.
I know 3 people now that have had an implant come out. Last time we talked, 2 people.
Really?
No, they
really?
fall out.
I never heard of that sort of thing.
That's got to come out of your jaw.
What about implant don't they get?
I don't know. Well, one guy definitely went to Brazil or something, but everybody else, United States, and they just fall out. They screw that into your jaw, right?
Yeah, but it shouldn't fall out. I mean, it could be. How good a job did the guys do? I mean, sometimes these places will try to speed the process up because it should be you get the tooth pulled and then you have to wait 3 months, and then they screw that thing in there, and then you have to wait another 3 months for that to grab hold just right, and then you put in the crown. Now some places, because people don't want to wait that long, they just do it really fast, and nothing has
time. On your mouth for 3 months.
What?
You have that medium thing. You have a screw sticking out of your mouth for 3 months while it.
Yeah, it's covered by a cap.
Okay.
It's not. You don't feel a screw in there.
Right.
You still feel kind of the emptiness, and they can, I think, put in a temporary tooth if they want to, but you don't have to. Okay. So.
I have a little thing that I can put in that will cover that and look like a tooth, but I can't talk.
Well, they had a thing. I forget what they called them, but when I first got my first implants, my dentist put this thing in, which was like a fake tooth. It cost me $750, but it was a fake tooth, and they were called clippers. That's what they were called.
Yeah, that's what I have. I have one of those.
Well, clippers. When I use the clipper, I put it in every morning and forget it was there, And finally, when it came to putting in the final implant, I said, why can't we just stick with the clippers?
Yeah.
And,
I mean, the guy was like, maybe you want this, maybe you don't. I could never talk with a thing in my mouth. I was like...
Well, you couldn't talk with the clipper?
No, I was like... Blah, blah,
then they didn't do a good job of making the clipper, because mine, they make a mold and everything like that.
Yeah, they did that whole thing.
Well, I had no problem. Once I wake up in the morning, take the thing out, go,
Yeah.
And it was there for the rest of the day, and I could talk, and I could chew, I could do everything.
Well, I got some issues with my dentist anyway. So.
Yeah, well, I have issues with everybody.
He was fine before.
Every professional that I have issues with. I have issues with my neurologist. I have issues with my lawyer. I don't really have issues with my accountant. He's pretty smart. But I mean, I have issues with a lot of the professionals in my life because it's not like they're really professionals.
Well, it's called practicing medicine for a reason.
Yeah. Once they get it right, they're dead.
Yeah. I mean, worst case scenario is you don't come back next week because you passed away. I had my urologist and I are in about a week or so going to have a lovely conversation that he doesn't want to hear. So I'm sure it'll be very
Really?
entertaining.
About what?
They keep sending me for CAT scans for my kidney,
Oh, okay.
and because I had that hematoma thing.
Actually, you don't have to have what they send you, CT scans for your kidneys. Actually, they can just do they can do sonograms on those.
You would think so, but
Yeah.
they keep sending me back. First, they do it without contrast. Then they decide they need contrast, which, okay, fine. You can't see what you're looking for, whatever.
Right, right.
So I go back for contrast, and now they've decided they need a different contrast. It's like, can't you just, we all tuned the back of the TV back in the 70s. Can't you, tune the back of your goddamn CAT scan machine and see what you need to see? And then, like, I asked the guy, and he goes, not him, but the CAT scan guy. I said, am I going to die? I keep coming in here for, this stupid test. And he goes, you're not going to die. And I go, why are we taking the test then?
Exactly.
And this minute, and this whole little scenario started the minute I turned 65 and had
Medicare. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think I may have told you or not told you, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing again because everybody who listens to the show has heard it 1,000 times about the fact that my neurologist took a blood test I didn't ask him to take. He was actually taking another blood test, and he added this one on. He said, "Oh, I don't know about this. You have to go to a oncologist, hematologist." And I'm going, okay,
yeah.
Where do you want me to go? He says, "Here, go to this guy." So it's a thing called the cancer and blood specialist, and they couldn't even draw blood out of me. It took 4 stabs in my arm in order to get blood out of me. Okay. And the guy sees me for under an hour and then sends a bill to Medicare for $5,000. Okay? Did a whole bunch of blood tests on me, about 20 different blood tests in-house, charged for all of those.
Yeah, that's what this guy is doing, it all in-house.
And then he never calls me with the results. Never calls me with the results. And eventually his nurse called about 2 months later. And I said, no, I don't want to have a follow-up meeting with him.
Follow-up with no information?
Because I didn't get the results of my tests. And he said, oh, well, that was probably because there was nothing to report. And I went, well, then that's what you tell me. You call me and you tell me that. Well, anyway.
You get an A or an F on the test, you still get it back.
I don't want to go through that story again because people have heard it and they just heard it again kind of in a fast version.
Yeah. No.
I then have a meeting with my neurologist, the one that sent me over there, my 6th month. So I'm over there and I say, I got a bone to pick with you. Why'd you send me to that goddamn quack?
Yeah.
And I told him the whole story, and he went, well, he's really a very good doctor. We go to the same synagogue together.
Bingo.
And I went, is my life dependent on who you pray to God with? You know?
Apparently so.
Yeah. I mean, it's just amazing. Just amazing. Yeah. And I couldn't convince him that this guy was really doing bad. That he was milking me for every penny he could get. He says, well, that's probably the corporation he works for, because his hospital, not hospital, but this office, which was beautiful, is owned by a corporation, and he's hired by a corporation to work there. And they have to meet certain quotas, and you go, come on, this isn't medicine. This is just whole scale thievery.
He knows that Medicare won't question it because there's too much stuff going through Medicare at any given minute.
Yeah.
He hadn't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
He's going to get his check.
Yeah.
Well, when I go in, I finally am going to see, I'm like, I'm not taking any more tests until I see the doctor. And when I see the doctor, at least one of the 2 of these MRI, CAT scan things, they're going to have to back out of the payment to Medicare because there's no reason to pay this. They didn't do anything other than give me yet another test and go, yeah, we need another test. It's like, no, the picture just, we don't think there's anything.
And don't you have to go all the way to Reno or something for that?
Oh yeah, it's 2 hours. It's 2 hours.
Yeah, you can't just do it in, where are you?
No.
You're in where?
No.
You're Fallon, are you?
Yeah, you don't want to do that. No. Good for a cow or sheep, or if you need antibiotics down at the feed and grain store.
Yeah.
But you really want to go to a place that's got big buildings.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, if you're going to do this, it's got to be for a reason, not for grins.
Yeah, I immediately, all of a sudden I'm 65. All of a sudden, these high-end tests start showing up. I'm like, wait,
you're right. That's when it happened to me too.
Yeah. It's like, we're not stupid. We can see you guys.
See, there was a time when you went to doctors, and they saw you, and that was sufficient for them to make a decent amount of money, a couple bucks, and they were happy with that. But what happened is, they've been so screwed by Medicare, more by the insurance companies, believe it or not, than Medicare. They're worse than Medicare. And they can't make a living. They'd like to make a living, but they're not making a living. And that bothers them. And I don't blame them. But it's not my fault.
Right. It's not, and you don't see, all you're trying to be is healthy until you're, dead.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing. I want to be healthy. Tell me the right thing to do. Don't, give me, I'm scared of you people anyway. So, you go in there or even like my mom and stuff.
Yeah.
She'll go to the doctor and she'll come in and go, I think that guy is lying to me. I don't think he's telling me the truth. And I'm like, it's practicing medicine, Mom. Or,
he'll call you when he's got it right.
Yeah, they never tell you, this is the answer. They're always going to try something. Hey, let's try this.
Try me at 83. I had prostate cancer. Okay.
Right.
They did the radiation. They did the seeds. It's non-existent. I mean, so far all my tests come back perfect. Okay.
Right.
Yet I look at my doctor's report, my neurologist's report, and he says, and the subject has cancer. Has cancer.
Right.
Well, no, I don't exactly have cancer.
Right.
If anything, you could say it's in remission. But
Exactly.
But I don't have cancer at the present time. Knock on wood. Hopefully it'll stay that way.
Sure.
But they all think, hey, we got to check everything because this guy may have cancer. He had prostate cancer, so maybe that's spread and blah blah blah. They don't even know They don't even know the situation. We caught mine very early.
Right.
And
have you ever noticed in the urology office that everybody's staring at the floor in there?
No.
Next time you go to your urologist.
Well, I'll tell you, I hated urologists. I just hated them.
They're gross.
I hated them because
I have a woman urologist that's even weirder.
Oh, really? Well,
I'm like, what do you say when you go home to your husband?
Yeah.
You spent the entire day. She goes, my dad calls me a penis doctor.
Well, she doesn't just do males, does she? She does females. Females have urinary problems.
Sure. Yeah.
But anyway, so I hated them. Just hated them. I had one that used to, I think twice, gave me 2 cystoscopies. Just because my blood test didn't come back just right. And I'm going, geez, what is with this guy, Because the cystoscopy he could charge $500 for.
Right.
See? So, I mean, that was one urologist. I went to another urologist. He was bogus. Finally, I went to this guy I'm going to now. I love him. He is the best. He is a decent, fine doctor. Okay? And I never thought I'd say that about a urologist. In fact, I've been thinking of seeing if he could be my primary physician because he's that good and he's that caring. But it took me forever to find that in urologists.
A little bit of empathy really goes a long way when the guy's got your dick in his hand.
Well, I told him the story about all the bad luck I've had with urologists, and he said, I have to admit it, we're a pretty weird bunch.
He
said, of all the professions in medicine, the people who practice urology are usually pretty weird. So
Yeah, I can see that.
yeah.
My guy was good, and he moved away, and then I had the guy who he was too old, and he put they had a catheter in me because I had kidney stones, and so I go in to get the catheter out. The guy doesn't bring the nurse in to do it. They have that little bubble in there that keeps the catheter in place, right?
Oh yeah.
He decides to take it out without that. Just jerk on it. Now he's pulling and pulling and pulling. Yeah. All of a sudden, it looks like Jackson Pollock on the wall in the room. I mean, it's bright red. There is blood everywhere, and it was a.
He didn't know how to remove one of those catheters. I think.
No, he didn't.
I think he just let the air out of it.
Yeah, you would think. And so now this nurse comes in, and she's like 18. It looks like her first day, and she's patting me on the shoulder, going, "It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay." I go, "You're going to have to repaint this room. There's so much blood on the wall and on the floor." And she's like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And the doctor's gone. He just, once the blood starts, he leaves. And so now I'm bleeding out in there, and it's like, so fine, it all goes away. And then I get an appointment. It's going to be a follow-up.
Follow-up.
Yeah. They call me, and I'm like, I ain't going to see that guy again. And they're like, why? And I go, it was a mess in that room. It was crazy. And that now I get a call from his assistant going, we're really concerned that you won't go see him again. And I'm like, it hurt like hell. I was screaming to that, and they're like, okay, you sure you don't want to try him again? And I'm like, no, it was scary. Blood on wall, come on.
Blood on wall, yeah. No, I mean,
I'm like, let's not do this again. Okay,
God,
by the way, have you noticed in your waiting room, everybody's staring at the ground? It's like they're all scared here. What the hell? Maybe they're scared of him.
Wow, that's
weird.
That's amazing, But anyway, so I mean, but these people are professionals, and they don't act professional. I find that even my primary care physician, who I've had for years.
Yeah.
Who I've liked over the years, has gotten worse and worse and worse, because the business has gotten worse and worse and worse. Like he still has his own practice. Most doctors go to work at hospitals now, mainly because they don't want to have to do billing. It saves them a lot of money. They just get their little white coat, bring it to work, and see people for 8 hours, and they go home and they get maybe $200,000-$300,000.
Yeah, no, it's my guy is now retiring.
Oh, here was the best. Here was the best. You want to hear about incompetence? This wasn't the part of the doctor. My oncologist, urologist, who did the what do you call it, the radiation and the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
I go in to get the seeds done, and they've got me all prepped. I got the apron on, or whatever that thing is they give you, and they've asked me all the questions they need to ask before and so I'm just waiting. I want to get this thing over with, right?
Right.
So we get a call, and it's from the doctor. He said, we may have to cancel the procedure today. He said, I'll come down and explain why. I'm going, I was getting ready for this. I was all, I was all
right. Yeah, you're all paranoid for 3 days or 5 days.
I want to get it done, right? No, he doesn't do it that way, right? So, he comes down. He says to me, I really have to apologize. He said, we have a little device that goes between your penis and your anus, the taint. But it's a little device they put in there so that when they then insert the needles to insert the seeds, they have a guide that can go through. He said they forgot to order one of those. So it's
nice.
I'll let you know when we can reschedule. So eventually I got a call rescheduled for a week later, and I had the procedure done. And I was lucky I had it done because the next day they closed down the hospital, those kind of procedures, because of COVID.
Oh, Jesus.
So I got in right under the wire. You know.
Yeah. It's like, what were you thinking, people?
You know. But I mean, the hospital forgot to order this particular object. You know, and he does. It's not like I was the only seed operation that day. He does tons of them, so they should have tons of them in supply. But it's just a little thing about like that. Right,
a little guide like they use for woodworking.
Yeah, yeah. But he needs it, otherwise he can't do it. So can't you do it from memory?
I don't know if you can see it. I use one of these Aura rings.
What's that?
This thing is, matter of fact, I'll send you some information. It's kind of like the eye health thing, except it gives me massive amounts of data every day about how I'm doing.
What?
But yeah, it's you can't. I don't know if you can see.
You see, I can do a lot with my watch.
Yeah. See, I don't want to. I keep not wearing the watch, or at night the battery dies. I don't know if you can see can't really see the inside of this thing too well in this light, but it's all electronics inside here. And I just wear the ring, and every morning I get up and it'll tell me how I slept, when I woke up, how deep my sleep was, how I did, how my,
my watch does that for me though.
Yeah. My Apple Watch did it for me, but every day I got to get up and put the watch on, blah, blah, blah. And I don't even have to think about. I just get up, hit my button, and I can see this massive detailed display of everything.
Wow.
And it's all off the ring.
Wow. How much does the ring? How much does the ring cost?
Like $300,
$300?
Yeah.
Oh, because I got this watch, and it does all that, I
think this thing was $300.
I can test my blood oxygen level.
Yeah. I get all that on here.
Well, but I can get that on the watch.
Yeah, I have an Apple Watch, but I just couldn't. I've never really worn a watch, so I can't talk myself into wearing one. I'll forget to put it on. And it died in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
So I don't get the sleep data. This thing goes 3 or 4 days without needing a charge.
You know what I'm thinking of buying, going out and getting? We don't have a pet in the house. And I've suggested that we go out and adopt, a former cadaver dog.
Okay.
And the reason is that when he's around the house, if he starts staring at me, I know I don't have much time left.
Yeah. If he starts helping you out.
When he starts going, woof, woof.
Yeah. That might not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Something to think about. I keep going, I really want to take a train ride. I want to take the train across the country. Come see you maybe, because I'm in a spot where I can get on Amtrak. The problem is Amtrak is the dumbest, least organized place to go anywhere on the planet. You can't figure out how much it costs or where it's going or when it's going to get there. But if you get they have little apartments on the train, they feed you first class meals all the way across for nothing. And you get to live in this, I don't want to hang out with the riffraff,
Mm-hmm.
I want to have my little condo on the train and live in there.
Yeah.
For my week or two, or, because I don't fly. So I've been dying to do this. So I'm now back on the, I have books.
Yeah, the only problem with traveling by train in America, and I would do it, except that if you've ever been to Europe, I'm sorry, traveling by train is super fast. I mean, they're going 120 miles an hour. Amtrak barely gets above 50.
Right, and
if you're lucky. What?
They have to stop every time there's freight. The freight trains all have right-of-way. So if a freight train is coming, they pull over and wait until the freight train, and then they take off. They should just
build, and I asked somebody, and they said that the trains that they currently have are capable of those speeds, but not on those tracks.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So.
Yeah, I keep
No.
trying, and it's
Yeah.
going to happen. I am going to do this, and all the food is free on the train when you
What?
have the little, yeah, when you have the condo.
Well, I'll ask you about that the next time we talk, but we've run out of time here.
Wow, that was quick.
That was quick, wasn't it?
So much fun and all medical.
And so painless. Stick around,
Yeah.
we'll do another one, but I don't
Sure.
want to ruin the magic for the audience. He'll be here next week or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Farnham. Thank you, Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
Now in its 9th year, this is GabNet, the great American broadcast network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Well, hello. Oh, I got to turn on my my lights. There we go. Oh, and I'm frozen. Oh, I'm frozen because I'm. Oh God, I hate this. I just hate this. I've been having all kinds of problems with the cameras, and the fact that they. Let me see here. Let me get this here. We can do this, and then I can do this, and I put the Logitech Brio in here, and there we are. And here we are. There we go. Okay. All right. Are you happy? I'm happy. Let me just do one more thing here. What do I got to do? Yeah, I got to move some stuff over here. It's like when I'm doing it all by myself. This is like a pain in the ass. You know, it really is. There we go. Okay, I had to change cameras. I can't use the camera I always use because it's not working. So, whatever. I am in terrible shape tonight, folks, and I'll tell you why as soon as we get some people on here. Because it's well. Let me first get some people here. Where do I go? I'm just so out of it here. I'll tell you why I'm out of it too. Let me see here. I have to go there, and then I see what I got to do here. I got to go to the Zoom panel, and then I got to go hit the panel, and invite these people in, admit all. That would be Kevin and Charlie Wallace. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good.
You doing good? How about you, Kevin?
All right, how are you?
Yeah, good. It's just, not good, actually. Oh, God. I'm in somewhat pain. Let me explain it to you. I'm walking down the street yesterday with Marjorie. Guess what? I trip,
Oh,
and I fall. And first I scrape one leg with two giant scrapes, okay, which are now starting to coagulate and heal, okay. They don't hurt. Then somehow the other leg I twisted or something, and I can't walk on it today. I can barely walk on it.
wow.
You know. I've had to take some of Marjorie's pain pills to take care of it. So one of the reasons I'm kind of goofy here, and let me put your pictures on here. See, I'm all screwed up here, folks. That's the reason why. And it's just agonizing. I couldn't sleep last night because there was no way I could sleep without it hurting. Have you ever twisted your leg like that? Anybody?
Yeah.
Huh?
Not my leg,
Oh, yeah.
not my back like that.
Yeah. How long did it take for your leg to heal from that, Kevin?
It's still messed up.
Oh well, great.
No, it depends on how you do it and what you do.
Yeah.
And, obviously your age probably doesn't help. Not to make you feel any better, but
Yeah. So,
ice it.
Yeah.
Yeah, ice it. Okay.
Yep.
I do have some ice, but I don't have enough. So I've got to go
Yeah.
out and get one of those ice things.
Yeah, CVS has those things you can freeze and then,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 3 of those, so I can always have one cold.
yep, 2, and then you rotate them.
Yeah. And that will take down the pain a bit.
It'll knock down the swelling and stop the bleeding because you always get bleeding inside.
Well, I don't have any. It doesn't look like I have any bleeding inside.
Well, internal bleeding.
Internal bleeding.
Yeah, because you usually tear something when you do that.
Oh boy. Well, I didn't go to a doctor on this one.
And I'm not a doctor, so I don't claim to be one.
No, but I didn't go to a doctor on this one because I didn't really think I needed a doctor on it because it's it's the way.
Just watch the swelling. If it swells up, then you probably should go. But
Well,
just watch the swelling.
It's swollen.
Yeah, get some ice on it because that'll keep the swelling down.
Yeah.
I missed the first part. What's wrong with your leg?
You missed the first part, so we're not going to tell you.
Okay. I heard you say you didn't have enough ice. Invite Phil over.
A cold visit.
What do you mean? Invite Phil over?
That'll turn anything icy. Everybody else is laughing. You get it. So.
Yeah, I guess. But anyway, so I mean, if it isn't one thing, it's another. So today, my lawyer yesterday sends me a note, and he says, "Here's an affidavit. You have to go down and get it notarized." And that's a block away. But with the way my leg is, a block is a long way away. So Marjorie holds my arm all the way down, and we walk down to this place and get the what do you call it done? The notary done on this document. Now, I come home and I write I send it to my attorney, and he sends me back a note and he says, "How'd you like the thing we wrote?" I said it was terrific. I said, but I'm such a trooper that in order to take care of the notarization on this, I had to walk down the street with a leg that got completely trashed yesterday after a fall. And he writes me back, "Well, you do know you can go online for $25 and get any document notarized." Now, I don't understand how that works. Aren't you supposed to be there?
They have DocuSign now and all that stuff. I think you can get away with it now.
Yep.
Really? And then what do? Yep. They send me the completed
It's official. Yeah, it's official documentation online. I know DocuSign is official. I think if you do it the right way.
I know DocuSign. I know
that. Yeah, I think it's official if you do it the right way.
But anyway, he said I didn't have to go down. I could have done it online. So, but that's good to know for next time I break my leg. So.
Ouch.
So I don't know if I should go to a doctor or not about it, but it's Marjorie says, "Nah, you just sprained it, really bad." And that's why it swells up, right? Because it's sprained.
Yep.
Yeah. So it'll be a couple.
Unless it's broken. It'll swell up if it's broken.
Huh?
Yep.
It'll swell up if it's broken.
Yeah, I don't think it's broken though. It doesn't. When I touch it and stuff, it doesn't hurt.
Oh, okay.
Okay. When I push on it, it doesn't hurt. Little sensitivity, where it hit, but it hurts when I stand up. So I don't think that's broken.
How about when you put weight on it?
When I put weight on it, it hurts.
Looks like hell. Yeah.
I think I'd go get an X-ray just to be sure.
No.
No. Okay.
Because I'd have to walk down to go get the X-ray.
Tell them you're Alex Bennett. Bring the X-ray.
What part about I was in great pain walking to get this notary don't you get?
Yeah, why can't you do the X-ray online?
Yeah.
Really. Let me hold my knee up here.
I'd just ride it out for, a few days, put the ice 20 on, 20 off, and then run it for a few days, see what happens, and if it continues to, mess with you, go get an X-ray next week. You're aware.
Or anything?
You're on Wednesday now. If it's still bugging you next Monday, go get it done.
Yeah,
well, I mean, it'll probably still be hurting Monday, but not as much as what
right. That's the thing. If it's getting worse on Monday, you might want to go do it like Tuesday or something.
Yeah.
You have ibuprofen?
Yeah.
Take that. That'll help the swelling also.
Gee, no kidding. No kidding. Like I don't know from ibuprofen. But yeah, but I'm using Marjorie's heavy-duty medicine.
Oh, that's better.
Well, it doesn't stop it from hurting, but it doesn't hurt as much. But then after a couple hours, it does again. So and she doesn't want to lend me her, pills because it could be if I take it too much. I said, if I take it too much, I become addicted. How old am I now? Can I have some kind of an addiction? But anyway, it was no fun this fall that I did, and I wish I could show you the knee. It looks horrible. The other knee, the other leg, where I scraped it on the But that doesn't hurt. That doesn't hurt at all. It just looks ugly. So anyway, I'm just not going out anymore. I'm not going for walks or anything. But literally, I had to walk down there, and this thing's painful. It stings, So,
Yeah.
yep. So I guess it's just I just probably, what they call it, wrenched my ankle or something, or my knee,
Yeah.
Is it your ankle or your knee?
My knee.
Yeah.
My knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you didn't tear any ligaments in that.
Or meniscus or something like
No,
that.
I don't think this is a meniscus. But we do have a doctor we can go to. I have a sports doctor we can go to for this. Yeah.
That would be good. Yeah.
I'm sure it's probably just I may have torn a meniscus. That's possible.
Yep.
Although I had a meniscus down there, and it was I tore it a long time ago, and it felt different than this feels.
Okay.
So I don't think the meniscus got hurt again. So
I'm sorry for feeling not good. I said I'm sorry that you're feeling not good.
Yeah, well, I almost didn't do a show tonight, but
Ask Marjorie for more pills.
Sitting, I'm not in dire pain, But after I get up, after sitting here for an hour and a half,
Yeah.
it's gonna be hell. Okay, so
Stiffens up.
You looked very handsome, though.
thank you,
You're welcome.
thank you. Yeah, just as I
Suck
was
up.
feeling good again, this has to happen. So anyway, hopefully it will just slowly go away. If it just gets better by measure, I'll be happy. But oh, you see when I stretch like that? Oh wow, see,
Wow.
Then don't stretch like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, then don't do that, right?
And Brian sounds like a
That's
doctor.
what my doctor said. Doc, it hurts when I do this. Well, don't do that.
What was the old story George Burns told about how he had a tick, and he kept going, kept clearing his throat. So finally he figured maybe he better go see a doctor about it. So he goes to see a doctor about it and tells the doctor said, what's the problem? He says, well, it seems that I'm doing this all the time. And the doctor said, well, stop it. And he said, I never came back. So, but anyway, so I'm sitting here just in, I'm not in pain sitting down, but if I move to the side or something, or just move the knee slightly, it gets bad. Why is it this show is all about Alex's medical problems?
I don't know, but I could think of one thing we could talk about when you get done.
And
Yeah.
what might that be?
Well, you remember that guy Prigozhin who challenged Putin?
Oh yeah,
Mm.
that. Oh that.
Apparently he fell out of an airplane today.
What do you mean
He tried to fly, but it didn't.
What?
What do you mean he fell out of it? Now they're saying he
No, the
fell
whole
out.
plane crashed.
The
Yeah.
whole plane crashed, and they think he was in it, but they
Well,
don't
they know
know.
he was in it now.
Oh,
It's
they
been
do know?
confirmed he was in it. Yeah.
They do know he was in it.
He is dead.
Yeah, Putin reported that he was in it. He made sure he was in it.
Yeah. Putin doesn't make that kind of
Let me
mistake.
ask.
had-
What?
I had
Yeah.
nothing to do with it.
I had nothing to do with it. The minute we heard that story, we went, of course. You know,
Don't know what you're talking about.
you
Just
know,
a matter of time.
I'm surprised Putin does that because he knows the world is going to look at him and go, "Come on,
Yeah.
we know what you did."
I was in the bathtub. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The poison stuff doesn't work anymore for him, so he's just got to do it instantaneous deaths.
Well, this plane, just you see the plane coming down?
Yeah. They even have film of the plane coming down.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, but
give
it's
me a break.
coming straight down. It's not one of those things where it's going down, 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 down. It's going like this.
It's just dropping. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a balsa wood plane. It was just flopping.
Yeah. 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 That. Yeah.
But I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you think Putin had anything to do with it?
Nothing.
Not a doubt in my mind.
Not at all.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh boy, that's a guy you don't want to piss off. You know.
If you piss him off, you don't want to fly anywhere, start up a car,
Yeah.
Or eat or drink anything he sends you.
Right.
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 No Peruski for me.
No. Oh man. Oh. I'm starting to
How
get
bad?
a cramp now. Oh. Oh.
Put some ice on it.
Yeah. Do you have something stronger than ibuprofen?
Yeah, but if I take it, I won't be able to do this show.
Yeah.
It's my wife's. It's my wife's pain medication.
Yeah. Norco.
No, it's something really strong.
Norco's pretty strong.
Norco's pretty strong.
Well, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But it helps a little bit. Doesn't help a lot, but it helps a little bit. And I only take a half a pill because at a time because I don't want to, you know. So if I take the pill right now, by the end of this hour I'd be talking to myself, you know, I'd be blabbing. Not that that's not the case all the time anyway, but you know. But yeah. So Jack didn't do a show last night.
No, incidentally, I mean, I went and somebody that I met on the show, Brian, that comes and goes. He lives in El Cerrito. He came down and we went and had sushi.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm leaving there around 8 o'clock, and I get a call from Jack, and I missed it, and so I called him back. I said, "You okay?" He said, "Yeah, nobody showed up for the show, and it's the first time ever." And I'm like, "Okay,
Wow.
I mean, okay, whatever." And he says, "I don't know if it's Skype or somebody else." I said, "Somebody would have contacted you, I think." And he said, "Are you
Yeah.
close to home?" And I said, "Well, I'll be home in 10 minutes. I'll get on Skype and we can chat." And it worked. And he said, "Well, I guess it's not Skype." And I said, "Well, I don't know. People got lives sometimes."
Yeah.
He called me too, but I was umpiring. There's no way I could call him back. I was umpiring.
Yeah. But he
I
didn't.
told you not to give him your number.
But after 20 minutes, he gave up on doing a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because last night last night I didn't listen to the show because I, had this enormous pain in my leg. Okay, that it happened, and I got up to go post the show. Limped in to do it, and he didn't post a show at all, and I didn't know why. So today I called him and he told me. So please, people, call him tonight, okay? I don't want to hear him.
I'll call. Yeah, I'm here. I'll call.
I'm calling. I'm here. I'm wide awake.
We don't want to hear him call, Alan any more names.
Yeah.
But anyway, anybody see the debate tonight?
No.
Really?
Oh no, I forgot to watch.
Did you
I
see?
did.
You did? I watched it. I watched an hour of it. Then I had to get ready for
Disappointed
the
with
show.
Chris Christie.
Huh?
Chris Christie was very, very quiet. DeSantis was very, very aggressive and very loud. And
who did you say is aggressive and loud?
Chris Christie, I was sort of disappointed in.
Why?
He was just really quiet and didn't seem like he was 100% there.
Well, I felt that he did get kind of 100% there at a certain point. He started saying, "This is ridiculous," and you people are being ridiculous. When are you going to put up with this kind of behavior from Trump?
Yeah.
And then the audience started booing him. And he said, you can boo me all you want, but that doesn't change the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think that when they have this kind of a debate, maybe they should have make sure there are a lot of Democrats there as well. You know, because this booing is because, you know, the people in that audience were of one mind. All they cared about was Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It's a cult.
Yep.
I don't understand why people are of a thought to go out and defend this guy. I mean, you know, this is a guy who's been charged with 91 charges. Okay. Now we won't say he's guilty at this point, but have you ever heard the saying, "Where there's smoke, there's fire"? You know. And you got to say, well, maybe he is, maybe he isn't, but as long as some people feel he is, maybe we should look for somebody else to run for president. And now there's a chance he can't run for president.
Yeah.
Because if he's been convicted of a felony, and I think he already has, wasn't that rape thing a felony?
Yeah, but that was a civil trial. That wasn't a criminal trial.
That's right.
It wasn't a criminal trial. Okay.
Nope.
Statute of limitations had run out.
That's right.
Criminal.
In New York. Yep.
Well, what happens if he starts winning all the primaries, but then they hold one of these trials and they find him guilty of a felony? He can't run.
Well, I don't think that's true. I think the only thing that forbids him to run is the 14th Amendment, where if he's contributed to an insurrection, then he's forbidden to run. You can actually, there's nothing in the Constitution that says you can't serve as president from a jail cell.
That would be interesting. I don't think it's ever happened in history, has it?
No. Well, we've never had a criminal like him in the presidency before.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you know, who knows? And
Giuliani got his mugshot.
Giuliani got a mugshot. Yeah.
All these guys, when they start showing their mugshots, it's pretty hilarious.
I love, you know, I mean, what?
No, the news last night said Giuliani didn't have a lawyer in Georgia. I guess he found one today.
He doesn't have. Well, he didn't have one. You know who he got?
No.
Oh, no. That's the other guy. See, there's a guy that's turning on Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And he got rid of his lawyer, which was Trump's lawyer. And so, of course, he's not going to... Huh?
I think it's the IT guy in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah. So he went out and got a new lawyer, happens to be the, what do you call it, the public defender.
Yep.
And he's going to turn evidence on Trump. So not good news for Trump, I'll tell you that right now. You know.
None of this is good news, and he's gonna be hopping from courthouse to courthouse.
Yep.
You know, and the costs involved in
this. But you know something? He turns this whole thing into a fundraiser. You know, he's saying, I'm going down there and I'm going to turn myself in because I'm going to, you know, blah blah blah. And I'm being the hero, and look, they're taking advantage of me. I mean,
I'm surprised that he's turned himself in and not playing the game and seeing if they'll actually send out the U.S. Marshals or somebody to go arrest him.
Well, he hasn't done it yet. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, we'll see what happens.
No, he's going to show up. He's going to make a big deal out of showing up. You know, here I am, and this is a witch hunt. What? This is what a witch hunt looks like, you know.
I'm a billionaire, so send me all the money to pay my legal bill.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't get that.
Yeah.
And these numbnuts that actually send them the money.
Hey, one of those numbnuts is your best friend, so be nice.
Who sent the money, Charlie? What I didn't
know.
What? You what?
His BFF. His BFF sends him money all the time.
Yeah.
Phil Meyer.
Yeah.
Phil,
we had dinner with Steve Fox
Uh-huh.
Monday night. Very nice.
You didn't invite me?
You're welcome anytime. We went to Ruth Chris. You know. So
See, that was before my
Gotta
leg
give
went.
Alan credit. He knows how to eat.
well, he wants to buy a house, and I don't get that. But he eats at Ruth Chris. It's 2 blocks from where he lives. Kaiser, where major medical center, is 2 blocks in another direction. He's got Nordstrom's at the end of the street. He's got
So wait a minute. So he goes to Ruth Chris.
Oh, all the time.
Ruth's Chris.
Ruth's Chris.
Yeah.
He eats in the
He
bar
goes to
and gets
Ruth's Chris, and then he eats a nice big steak, gets a cardiac arrest, and then is really near the hospital. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
Walk right to emergency.
I mean, if you go down, he's on the major street coming off the freeway is called Olympic, and so his street is right there, and his apartments is right there. You go 2 more blocks, and you're at Ruth Chris, and another block, and you run into the Apple store. You know, and there's Nordstrom's and Macy's, and why would you ever want to move out of that neighborhood?
Well, you go to the Apple store and you buy yourself a really expensive computer that you don't need.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard he just did that recently.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what we're doing, Marjorie and I, because we're about to come into some money. We've decided that we got to do a vacation. She wants to desperately do a vacation. So what we're going to do is go to Europe and rent a villa.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Post pictures, please.
Huh?
Said post pictures, please.
Yes, we will. But, I might invite some of you to come join us.
Oh,
No,
I got
not
my
you,
thing.
Tony. Not you, Tony.
Oh, all right. I would have cooked for you. Italian cooking.
Well, Brian, you want to come? Can you?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, wherever you're going, that's fine.
Yeah, because what happens is I looked at these villas. Okay, you can get one for about $5,000-6,000 a week. Okay, so you get these villas, and it says can hold 10 people, 15 people. I'm going. It's just Marjorie and I. We can't do that. So then we just invite a lot of people, to join us there. And what the
Fill
hell?
up the house.
Hmm?
Yeah, fill up the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody pay their own way, and then they get room, and right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All you gotta do is
Yeah,
pay
my
your
kid will be gone.
Oh, good, Kevin. Terrific. No, really, I'm serious. And
When are you guys thinking of going? Like
I
this
don't
year?
know. I don't know.
Next year?
Maybe the beginning of next year.
Yeah.
As soon as we get this stuff, every time we decide we want to go away, all of a sudden, all this stuff happens with the apartment, and
Yeah.
people are trying their best to give us a bad time about it, So,
So,
as soon as we get that taken care of,
so the funny thing is, every time I want to take a trip, whenever I tell Tiffany, oh, well, let's go here, there's always something going on there, and she gets mad. So, like, I want to go to Europe, but they're F1 races, and I want to key it in when the F1 races are going on, So I go there, I go to the F1 race, and still do a trip with her, right?
Let's go to Monaco.
Yeah.
What does she want to go? What does she want to go to a foreign country for? She's
No,
already from a foreign country.
No, let's go Singapore and everything. So I said, oh, Singapore. Oh, yeah, they have the F1 race. And she goes, oh, yeah, then you're going to go to the race. I said, well, yeah. So the great thing is, if I don't tell her that you guys are going to go there, I will tell her, hey, let's go to Spain. Go there for the week and, we just hang out and just, relax.
Yeah.
And she'll say yes. And then we pull up to the villa, and there you and Marjorie are. That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Work it out right. There'll be a race too.
Actually, you can actually for about $50 or $100,000 a year, I could rent a villa for a year.
Mm.
But Marjorie felt she didn't want to spend a year in a villa.
Yeah.
I said, can you think of a better place to spend a year?
Yeah.
Right.
Can you do the show from there, though? What time would the show be?
Yeah,
Sure.
they have Wi-Fi. Let's see here. I'd probably have to do it if I were going to do it this same time. Let me see here. I would have to do it at
5 a.m.
5 a.m. in the
5 to
morning.
6 a.m.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just like the old days.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll change it. Change the time of the show here.
I don't know. Why don't you stay in every Five Diamond hotel in New York for a couple days?
Why?
Because you got the money and you might as well do it.
Why? Why would I want to stay in New
Then
York?
you can have your show from
Why?
this and your show from that. I don't know. I'm kidding.
He goes a lot of South Asia,
Go to Spain.
and very, very inexpensive.
What's that?
5-star hotels for $120 in Vietnam.
Really?
When you guys are ready to go to Vietnam, Tiffany and I will arrange it. We'll meet you guys there, and we do the whole thing.
Well, you know something?
I know you want to go there.
Oddly enough, I mentioned Vietnam to Marjorie because I hear it's a very nice place to visit now.
Very, very beautiful.
And oddly enough, in spite of the fact that how horrible we were to them, they love Americans over there, don't they?
They love Americans. They love English. When you're walking around speaking English, you have kids running with you and like listening and try talking to you and stuff like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
They like anybody with money. So it's. But there was a cruise down the Mekong Delta that I saw. Yeah. So, we're looking at all those kind of things because we got to do it before I drop dead.
Do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to do it big time. So nobody saw really, only one person saw the debate tonight.
No, I watched the whole thing.
Oh, did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
Isn't your takeaway the same as mine? That almost every Republican running for president is an asshole except for Christie?
Yeah, they're all freaking nuts.
I knew that. I
would say except for Christie and Nikki Haley did pretty good. The rest of them are complete nutcases.
Nikki Haley's a cunt too,
No, I know, but I thought she did well tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, she really
forget about doing well. Doing well. I think that those people are all crazy. They're all lunatics. Nikki Haley wouldn't say, "Hey, Trump's a bad guy." He's been charged with all these things, and we should look elsewhere for a candidate. She doesn't want to take that chance.
The interview.
No, I just meant compared to one another. I mean, I wouldn't want any of them for president.
Yeah.
The interview, the question was talking about the elephant not in the room. That was a good line.
His name came up not till the end and not very much.
Yeah, but they said let's talk about the elephant not in the room. So they referred Trump to an elephant. That's pretty good.
Yep.
But anyway,
I like it when Christie said we got that one guy over there. It sounds like Chat GPT.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Now that guy.
Yeah.
He's a nutcase.
Well, if you just look at him, he's a very attractive candidate. Okay.
Who is this?
This is Swami Maserati or something,
whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, Phil likes him.
Phil likes him. He's the Hindu guy.
Phil likes him. He thinks he's gonna win.
Oh, that guy.
Oh my God!
Well, I gotta tell you, that guy,
he told me about this.
That guy was terrible tonight. He was just
he was
horrible.
a shit star tonight. Yeah.
Just horrible.
Just kept saying do you want a politician in this position? And then everybody else battles him. You have no experience. So the same.
He was
crap
Trump, but he was an Indian. Really, that's really what it was. From 6 years ago.
Yeah, but
the outsider.
It's they were all terrible except for I like Christie. But that's because Christie is taking a position that I agree with. He I think may not be a good Republican, but he's certainly a decent human being at this point.
I'm not that much of a religious person, so when I keep hearing God and God and God and God, and there was a lot of God references tonight, that makes me.
Everybody was trying to out-God everybody else.
Yeah. So that's like big turnoff.
Yeah.
Pence is like a major God dude.
Oh yes.
He probably dragged the commandments.
Well, I don't think he should impose his religion on us. Okay.
Right.
I don't mind if he's religious and he believes in his God and he goes to church every week and he's a good Christian, but don't impose it on me.
Exactly.
Yes.
I totally.
Yes.
But you know, in watching this, I was going to say if Ray would what he thought of it. I thought Pence had the best moment when he actually was pressured under Trump to not cast those votes, and he did the presidential thing. He had the best moment right there of the night because he was under extreme pressure.
Pence did a hell of a lot better than I expected tonight.
Well,
I thought he was okay. I mean, in terms of just, the people on the stage, I thought he held his own really well.
I don't like his whole God thing.
Yeah,
it just makes me,
I hate it. I'm just thinking.
Yeah, he should understand, as a Jew, okay. He makes me feel uncomfortable when he does that.
Wait a minute, Pence is Jewish?
No.
No.
No, but
Well,
it makes me.
Former
It makes
Christian,
me. Yeah, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. He shouldn't want to make people feel uncomfortable. Yes, you're entitled to your religion. Have a good time with it, but don't shove it down my throat.
Yeah, we all understand that. That's fine. But yeah, they did. Yeah,
and they should all understand that.
That they don't. None of the Republicans.
That's the problem.
But any Republican who wants to be honest and forthcoming is just going to get booed by those people.
Yeah.
And it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. I mean, there is no more conservative Republican than Chris Christie. Okay? He's never going to agree with the Democrats. But he's a decent human being in all of this. And don't boo him just simply because he doesn't like your felon who's running for president. I mean, what, he's not supposed to have an opinion? People are not supposed to have an opinion about Trump? I mean, when he get indicted 91 times, I think that's the number, 91 times, I think we have a right to kind of like question whether he should be president or not, and not get booed for that. And I just, those people are amazing. And those people who are trying to play to the Trump crowd tonight just make me want to vomit.
They're just proving Hillary was right. They're deplorables.
They are. And it's terrible what's going on here with this whole Trump deal. This guy, they should have, the minute the first two indictments came down, they should have said, okay, that's it. We wash our hands of you, But no, they're all fighting for him. Why?
They want his base of votes. They don't. That's what they're looking for. He don't want to alienate his whatever percentage.
Well, yeah, but they're trying to get a base of votes that they're trying to get away from Trump, because they want those people to vote for them if they run for president. But they're not going to run for president because they're all Trump people, and you've been standing up for Trump. It's just, it makes me vomit. Yes, Ray.
I have a question. What do you think about this 14th Amendment thing where it says if anyone provides aid or comfort to anyone who attacks the United States, that you're not qualified to become president? Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about it, Ray, too. They said
why that's just like being ignored. Well, they're starting to talk about it, but do you think it'll be enforced? Because he definitely
it says that aid and comfort, and you have to prove that he gave aid and comfort. Oddly enough, the stuff that he's being charged with, if I'm not mistaken, in Georgia, I forgot, the Georgia thing is separate from the Washington thing. I'm actually mixed up now on what case is where. Let's see. We've got the.
He bragged about giving comfort to them. He bragged about it.
Yeah.
Well, in that case,
I mean, they raided the Capitol. He sat there for 2.5 hours and did nothing, and then he came out and said how much he loves them and how great they are. But it's time to go home. And he comforted them. He aided them. I mean, he watched it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not qualified to be president anymore.
It is a terrible time in which we live, look at Kevin. He's taking papers of the indictment and getting them all together and getting ready to do the case against What is that actually you've got there?
I'm just listening and trying to make my desk look a little cleaner. That's all.
Do you do that every now and then?
I do that every night I come up here.
I do that myself.
Never gets
every
any
night
better.
I will just kind of clean things up a little bit. Within
And
2
it doesn't
days,
get any better.
It's a mess again. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
And I just stack stuff up on top of the shredder, and the shredder says, "Why are you doing this to me?" And usual stuff. Yeah.
Well, you know.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just wondering what you were doing there. And it.
I'm constantly in awe of people who can keep everything neat and clean all the time.
Yeah, me too.
I want to so badly. My whole life I've wanted to be able to do that, and it's so hard for me. It's crazy.
Well, there's nothing like having a studio like I have, in which
I know.
If you go under the table here, it's a surprise that I don't get electrocuted.
Well, wires are a different story. I mean,
Because
you just cannot do it.
No, what happens is, let's say I say to all of you, I'm not going to be here for 2 weeks. I am tearing this whole studio down and then rewiring it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I do that, and I guarantee you, within a month, the wires will be a mess down there. It's impossible. It's just impossible.
I know you get the little wire gatherers.
Oh,
and you hook 'em
yeah,
up,
you
and
do
get
all
the
of
little,
that.
Get the little Velcro straps, and you put everything together, and then you forget one wire. You go shit, or you got to change something. You go crap. You got to pull them all apart just to get the one put in there, and then the other one, it's tangled up with the other one. So you rip that one out, and then all the other ones are all
I
screwed
mean, I would
up,
love
and
to
you go,
rip every
"Screw it."
wire out of here, and reset up this studio. You know?
You
And
say,
when
I'm going to make everything.
when I'm
wireless."
through doing that, all the wires will be a jumble. You watch.
Yeah.
No matter how hard you try, you can get those little things, those little plastic ties to get them all together, and then you at some point you're going to cut them apart. The little strap, because you've got to get in there to get one of those wires.
I got a bunch of these things, these little orange wire gatherer things that you get at Home Depot, and you can take them apart and put them together, and it's all great, but they still come apart, and then you get pissed off, and you just say, "Screw it, leave them there. I'm gonna tear it apart anyway."
I got so many wires down here. I don't know how I initially wired this place.
Like that, and then you go like that.
Hey, Alex, can I ask you a question about that?
What?
I've always been curious. Like when you work at a radio station in a studio that has a bunch of other,
Oh, by the way, if you go behind the desk on those places, the wires are a jumble. Even in a radio studio. Even in a radio studio.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. Yeah, and like, what if like one of the people is a total slob and leaves crap all over the place? Like, I don't know, food, or have you ever had that problem?
What do you mean? I was that problem.
Oh, okay.
Leave a milkshake or something laying around. And they used to smoke in the studios too, and that was even worse.
Well, in the old days, we smoked in the studios. Yeah. When I was at WPLJ, I remember I had an ashtray there, and by the end of the night, it was filled with cigarette butts.
So when you come in, you just got to deal with whatever you're facing there from the guy before you.
Basically.
Been there, done that.
And it was always frickin' night shift.
Yeah. What we would do is that occasionally at some stations they would say, when you're through using the studio, spray the mic with Lysol.
Oh, okay.
And the reason was because they figured that you're talking to the microphone, somebody else is talking to the microphone, they got a cold.
Yeah.
And you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
right.
So you may as well spray the microphone. But I
Well,
didn't
after
know.
a while, the foam thing would start disintegrating because of the Lysol would eat it up.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't have a foam thing on here anymore. This new mic I have. You haven't seen the new mic because I have mine hidden away. Because I don't know. I don't want you to see the mic.
Your mic is in your pants.
Yes, right. Right. Well, I used to have the mic down here and on a stand, and I bought this new mic, and it's on a boom, so I can have it right in front of me. And so it's, it's pretty good, actually pretty good. Let's see what else is happening.
So what the hell is this with the? Did you see that India landed on the moon today?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
What the hell? I didn't even know they shot something up there. The sneaky little bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's hilarious about that is, we have a lot of Indian friends, and they always have these tacky colored things. They love it. Like even on their TV stations, like fluorescent green and stuff. And the thing that landed on the moon is like fluorescent green
Yeah.
and fluorescent gold, and like totally tacky looking.
Little bells hanging off it.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
Really?
I didn't even know they
But they
shot
did.
something up there.
Well,
and all
they,
this,
they landed
they're
it on a place that's never been landed before.
yeah, on the South Pole.
South
and
Pole.
They think that there's
But
ice
the
down there
other
and all
news
kinds of
was
stuff.
just the other day, Russia landed a rocket on the moon, but
Crashed.
unfortunately it crashed.
Right.
Mm.
I heard about that. Yeah.
I don't know nothing about that.
And I have a funny feeling Prigozhin was in it.
Yeah.
Prigozhin was in that one too, but I don't know nothing about that. I was in the bathtub.
I'm
on
glad
the hook.
theirs crashed, But this is what, the fourth country to land people on the moon? And we didn't pay attention to a lot of them. The Chinese landed it how long ago? About a year ago? More than that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
'cause
think
there's-
the Indian one has any people in it.
No, and neither does the Chinese
Neither
one,
the
and
Chinese.
neither
Yeah,
did the
they're
Russian
unmanned.
one, and there's us.
Yeah.
I know
But,
you said people.
but we have landed people on the moon,
I know. Well, no, that was fake. That was
I know
fake.
it was fake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all staged.
Y'all stage, man. Did you see the wind? There was wind.
But anyway,
Yeah.
so
The shadow.
You didn't know that? You didn't know that, Charlie? That India?
No, I had no idea India had sent a rocket to the moon.
Yeah.
I didn't until today when they landed there. That
Yeah.
was weird.
Well, this is kind of getting me to believe that almost anybody can send a rocket to the moon now and land it,
Yeah.
except Russia, of course.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk can't do it yet.
Well, Elon Musk is not ready to do it yet.
I know.
He's trying. He wants to land that big mother rocket there.
Yeah.
And so they can be there for a while and hang out and have a place
Smoke
on the
some
moon.
dudes.
Huh?
Smoke a few doobies.
Yeah.
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 Charge somebody for it.
Excuse me, I have to reposition myself here without making my.
Who owns the moon?
Nobody.
Mr. Moon?
They're going to be fighting over the moon pretty soon.
I was thinking about that. It's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking about that today. That I think
Yeah.
there could eventually be a war over the moon.
There will be
because-
if we last that long.
The Indians have landed there, and the Chinese have landed there, and we haven't landed yet this time. We have been there before, but we haven't landed this time. But
Were they the Mohawks or the Cherokee or what? Sorry, go ahead.
none of these people are kind of admitting to it. Oh, there goes my leg. Hold on a second. Oh,
My leg gets stiff too when I
it twists a little bit and it hurts. But nobody. It's just there are too many people up there that I don't think there can be a claim for it now.
Mar-a-Lago on the moon.
Trump will become president. He will send his space force up there and claim it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Well, didn't we sign a treaty, a worldwide treaty at one point, Charlie, saying no
Yeah.
one would take,
Back
no
in
one
the
would
60s,
take,
I think,
That doesn't mean anything. You can break treaties. He can do that.
well, but nobody was going to be doing that to space. In other words, nobody was going to be empowering themselves to own space.
treaties are meant to be broken.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I think Charlie will agree with me. I don't think anybody should have the right to own space. I mean, you could say, okay, we landed on this part of the moon and we're having a base here, and this is our base, and stay out. Okay, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. But it's I can see a war being fought over the moon. I'm not going to be.
Find
What?
water somewhere. Yeah.
What'd you say? Oh, especially if they find water.
Yeah, then they'll fight over the water.
Oh, yes. 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 In fact, they already are, aren't they? There's some water. They've found water.
Really?
And
Well, they think they're going to
South
find
Pole,
ice at the South Pole where they are. They think they're going to find ice, which means there's water there.
yeah. And if we have water, they can then make hydrogen, and they can then have rocket fuel.
And then it'd be easier to launch from the moon to go to Mars instead of launching from the Earth.
Well, it's a nicer place to take off from because you don't have as much gravity and
Yep.
and all of those things. And I mean, it's a very practical idea to use the moon as the launching point. What I love that they're going to have up there is we are launching a space station to circle the moon, so that when we finally go to the moon, we can use the space station as the launching point to land on the moon. You get what I'm saying? It's a very good idea, actually. But so we don't have to worry about it. Well, I'm through. That's all the material I have for tonight. We're finished a little early. Should we sign off early and see what Jack does with the time?
Yeah, really. Go take a pain pill.
Yeah.
No, I'm getting ready to after we're through here. But first I have to get up from here after the show is over, and that ain't going to be fun.
You don't have any kind of cane or walker?
Yeah, I have a cane.
No?
I have a cane.
Okay.
Hold on.
Marjorie's voting cane, remember? They use that to cut in line for everything.
Oh, yeah. This was the one she used.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've got a few extra I can send you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we used this cane, and we were able to get in voting ahead of everybody because she had the cane.
Yes. Comes in handy.
When we were in Europe and she had the wheelchair, oh, that was cool. Because when we were coming back, they would just move her to the head of the line. In fact, they put her in the airplane by having like an elevator that went up and down on the outside of the plane, and they put her in the plane before anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you
Disneyland too.
I told you this story a long time ago, but at the Frost Amphitheater of Stanford, when you had one of your comedy thing there, I think it was a record-breaking temperature one.
Yes.
I went with my roller friend, who's in a wheelchair, and we waited until we rolled up right there like 10 minutes before they let people in, and that line was so long, and we rolled right up to the front, and they let us right in. And we had some alcoholic beverages in his bag that's in the back of his chair. And the guy wanted to look in the bag. And we said, oh, dude, you don't want to look in there because that's his piss stuff. And the guy said, oh, okay, yeah, just go ahead. And they let us right in.
You just put a yellow tag on there. It says medical supplies.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah. See, now if I knew you now, geez, I wouldn't have had to do that. But yeah, we had to do that.
Yeah, well, boy, so it was that big a line, huh?
Oh, yeah. I remember the front.
Well, I remember it was, I believe, 9,000 people.
And it was hot.
Yeah.
It was very
Hey, in case you aren't familiar, folks who are listening, I used to be a big shot.
No line.
People would wait in line for hours to see me.
And cheer you. And
yeah. And see my show. Yeah. But that was a great show at the Frost Amphitheater.
Well, you're still a big shot to us, Alex.
Well, thank you. And that's about it. All 7 of you. 6 of you. Actually, 6 of you. Do I count? I don't know if I count. But
there's people watching.
Yeah.
Another 30 or so.
Yeah. But so how's Adrian?
She's doing good. She has a solo now, so she's been rehearsing that, and for her dance thing. So she's more money for me. But I remind her I could have bought another car.
Now, when you say she does a solo dance, is that hoochie coochie dance she does for us?
No. She did tell me one of their instructors were trying to teach him how to twerk. One of these guys. But then like a whole group, not just her, like this whole group. And I said, I know twerking. So yeah, so that's doing good. So second grade now, and
wait a minute. Is that what she's doing? Is twerking?
No. She's doing a regular song and does regular.
No, because what I'm saying is, if she twerks, she's being old-fashioned. That's before her time.
Yeah, that's before she was born.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they call it now.
Yeah.
They don't call it the hoochie coochie dance.
Well.
No, listen, she's doing really good. She's really ahead. She's really ahead of her class. You know, she's reading and writing way in advance of students. You know, her age in her class. So she's doing really good.
You've got a very
The hoochie coochie is Charo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've got a very smart, very talented girl there.
Yeah,
And,
and you know what they say, iPads and all that stuff are bad for the kids' screen time and stuff, but for her at her age, she's learned how to type. She learned how to spell words and you know, read and all that stuff through that. You know, and I know there's a lot of bad stuff, but I have, you know, I can see what she's on. I do see that she watches a lot of stuff, and the stuff that she watches. So
does she try drawing on the iPad too?
Yeah, I got her a pen a little while ago. She doesn't use it that much, but she draws and colors like nonstop. She's so
Yeah.
That's the way my daughter was. I envy the way she can type. She doesn't even have to look at it. She's doing this, and she can.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
She can type faster than she talks.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And it's just like not even looking at it.
Really?
It's crazy. Yeah, and that's just from, you know, letting her use it in the young days. She had one of those little tykes, you know, the little one.
Yeah.
We let her play with that, and then finally she started using the old iPads we had, and she'd start doing that. And my other daughter's the same way. She used to be able to, you know, the old text when you had the flip phones, when you had to do 3 letters for everyone.
Oh yeah.
She could do that without looking.
Oh.
Yeah.
And she'd do this, you know, and she would text her friends in the front seat from the back seat of the car.
Well,
And
Larry
she'd be
Bubbles
doing this
Brown
without
still
looking.
has one of those phones.
Yeah, but she'll burn those things up.
Yeah.
And she plays these games that'll come up, and it says like name an animal, and then you're with like 4 other people, and the longer names of those animals that you put, you get points for each letter. So she learns a lot of that, and she learns because she has to, like, she'll do elephant because that's long, so she'll have to type elephant really fast, and then she gets the score, and then they'll wait, and then the other guys get scores, and then they'll ask, you know, name a state, and then she'll do a state, and then so she learns a lot from that.
Yeah.
As long as you're monitoring and watching what they're doing.
Well, you got a winner there. You know, she's a smart kid, and talented too. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
You know? Hey, listen, I'm playing the theme, and there's a reason I'm playing the theme, because if I don't, Jack Bishop will never be able to get on. So let's just call it almost a day. Anybody have anything else they want to bring up? No.
Go get some ice.
Go get some ice. Yeah, I have an ice pack, but I've got to get more ice packs. You know, so there's always one in the refrigerator. I thought we had more, but I can't find them. So that's the problem.
Yeah, CVS has those packs. They're purple with a strap on them.
Oh, okay.
You just strap it on.
But I have to walk down and get it. Well, I'll send Marjorie.
Amazon has them
Send
too.
Marjorie.
I'll send
Amazon
Marjorie.
has.
I'll send Marjorie down. Thank you, Kevin.
You betcha.
Love having you here. Charlie Wallace, you son of a bitch. Great having you here. Alan, good having you here. Oh, look who's there. She's
She had
kind
to
of...
cover her ears because you said a bad word.
Oh yeah.
She's... What? Did I say a bad word?
Yeah, you said son of a something.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh no, that's not a bad word. You know,
She hears much worse from me during the Eagles games, so it's a Giants game.
no.
So-
What I was going to say is, there she is. You know, she's kind of like Beetlejuice. You say her name 3 times and she appears.
Yeah.
Hi, Adrian. Anyway, bye. And Tony, thank you for being with us tonight. And thank you very much, Ray. Always good having you here as well. Everybody, why don't you give a big wave goodbye? And I'll give big wave goodbye at you. Okay, there they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel for tonight. We'll be back again tomorrow night. Meanwhile, Jack Bishop is next over most of the same GabNet. He'll be taking your calls at Skype at GabNet Live. I'll see you again tomorrow night, same time, same station in life. In the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.